What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I am back again with another video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Rivah. It's very nice to meet you. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. And as I always say, make sure you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. It does not matter how you feel about this video, but we all want to talk about it. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON, and we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this video. If you're new here, if you don't know, I never watch a video before I give my full reaction. I do it right here in real time, right in front of you guys. So basically, we're watching it together, and then I give my honest feedback as I'm watching the video with you. But based on this title, I'm really excited. I was kind of just like on YouTube, and I saw this video pop up, and I was like, this is gonna be really interesting. So as you can see by the title, we're going to see how this woman in particular went from being a strong feminist woman with a feminist mindset to being a feminine woman and turning into a traditional wife. So let's just go ahead and jump right in.
I grew up in a very traditional household. I grew up with a mom and a dad. My mom was a homemaker in the most traditional sense. She made breakfast, lunch, dinner. She cooked, cleaned, took care of the house, took care of the kids. And my dad was the breadwinner. He had his own company. He worked every day to provide and protect for the family. And even growing up, I learned from a very young age how to cook, how to clean, how to take care of my siblings. I was a very responsible child when I was growing up, but also growing up, I learned very young about infidelity, and that's kind of what shaped me and molded me into becoming more of a feminist.
And I love that she's talking about this and starting from her childhood and coming forward, like starting all the way from zero, because a lot of women who have this feminine mindset have been hurt in some kind of way. There's been some kind of issue with them. There's something that happened that they did not like along the way, and it changed their mindset, and they just took that and like have a vengeance against men, and they just run with it. So I love that she's starting from here, and then we're gonna build all the way up to present day. So I love that about this video so far.
Talk about that moving forward. And so when I went to high school and going into college, I wanted to be an independent woman. I didn't want to rely on a man's income. I wanted to make my own income. So I chose to go down an engineering route. I'm a mechanical engineer with a robotics major. I'm very handy and I'm very hands-on. So engineering was a route that I wanted to go down. And that led me to becoming a oil and gas engineer. I was in that field for 3 years before starting my first company and moving to New York. But during that time frame, I was very much in my masculine energy. I was very much in my masculine form. I had to be one of the boys. So that is kind of how I creeped into being a more feminist woman. Now, fast forward, I moved to New York to start my first company, and New York was the place where feminism just took its grips into me and just latched onto me, and I adopted a lot of the ideology from New York and my time in New York. I adopted this hustle culture. I was very much an entrepreneur. I was a female CEO. I had my first company and then a second company, and I was raising money. I was in multiple publications. I had made a name for myself in the entrepreneurial space in New York.
So this doesn't surprise me at all because, being someone who lives in New York for a long time, I get that because New York is a very liberal place to live. It's very, do your own thing, float to your own drum. If you don't have a really strong foundation and you're just there, it's easy to get sucked into a lot of different lifestyles. So I can imagine, and it's also a place that if you are, especially if you're like in the city in Manhattan, it's a very aggressive place to live. So it's definitely gonna have her, if she's already in her masculine energy, if she's already like climbing the corporate ladder, is gonna have her even more maneuvering in a certain manner as to if she was living in like a more calm space, a more slower paced like lifestyle when she leaves work. So this, I can understand her sentiments.
More masculine I became, or the more I was in my masculine frame, the less happy I was, the more resentful I was, and the more combative and competitive that I was. Because being a female entrepreneur, being a female CEO, we had to fight for our seat at the table, right? We were constantly being told we needed to do all of these things to get funding. We needed to sit at the table. We needed to be super competitive. And that is the hustle culture, right? That is the dream that so many women seek to lead their lives like, right? And I lived that life. I was that pinnacle woman that people look up to. I had mentees, and I had a bunch of women that followed my ways. We were all very successful on paper, but it was very exhausting. It was constantly battling my feminine energy with my masculine energy. And I'm a highly sensitive person. I'm an empath, so meaning I am very emotional, and I also take other people's emotions and absorb it like a sponge. So I'm very in tune with these things, and also I can read a room and pick out bad energy and good energy. I did a whole video on this. I will link that above and below too. But being an empath, being a female CEO, and living in my masculine frame, I was miserable. Okay? I was constantly.
Oh, so she said she came on here to tell the truth. Oh, okay. So she said she came on here to tell everybody's business who has this mindset. Okay. Noted.
In myself. Why am I so emotional? Why can't I just be one of these other women who understand and get it, who can fight and who can pitch the same way that men do? I was always battling myself, and I was always questioning myself why I couldn't be more aggressive or why I couldn't be more competitive. Being in my masculine frame, being the boss babe, being all of these things was so exhausting. And I was just at my breaking point. Okay? I was at my breaking point where I was like, I feel like I've accomplished so much, and I had lived a lot of this career life very, very single because I resented men. I didn't like being around men. And the only men that I had really were my buddies. There was no one that I was essentially attracted to. So I started reading books, right? I started to work on myself. I discovered that I was a highly sensitive person. I got some therapy around that. I discovered that, I am more sensitive to things and I care about people, and that's just how I am.
I think it's not just about how you are, and even what she said about being like an empath and being like a sponge, that's how most women navigate. That's our nature, to absorb energy. So the fact that she's saying that, like, oh, that's just how I am. I'm very caring in nature. That's just how I am. No, that's like the nature of a woman, to be that way, to be, considerate of the people around her, to be concerned about the situations that are going on. That's what's on our makeup.
And I learned to embrace who I was, right? Who I was created to be. And that also meant that I stopped partying, and I stopped going to these events, and I stopped being that socialite and going to these events, and stopped hanging out with certain people that would bring me down because I didn't want myself energetically to be diminished. I wanted to build myself up. and I read Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, and I learned how to take personal accountability for my actions. I knew that I wasn't the victim. I was taught that I had to be the victim, but I resonated with that book so much because I was like, wow, it's definitely in my control. And I'm blaming and shifting the blame onto other people when it's something that I had to do, that I had to put in the work. And all of that was happening at the same time that I met my now husband. And for those of you who maybe do or don't know, my husband and I met. I was at a work meeting and he happened to be in the same building, and we met, and it was like a whole thing. I will link that video above and below for you guys to also check out. From there, it was just we were inseparable. We were inseparable. And the more I started working on myself, the more I realized I was creating a lot of the issues within our relationship. I would get upset with him on things that he didn't even know he was doing and all of this other stuff. And fast forward, we got engaged. And during our engagement process, we were encouraged to pursue premarital counseling. Now, I didn't want to do premarital counseling, okay? Premarital counseling to me was like, why would we do this? We can just get married. Well, let me tell you, premarital counseling was probably the thing that saved our relationship and taught us the roles of a wife and a husband. Through that work with our counselor, with doing one-on-ones, I realized that I was still very much in my feminist mindset, right? I had worked on myself. I thought I was doing all this stuff. And I realized that I needed to take on the role. If I wanted to be a wife, I needed to take on the role of a wife. And what does that mean, right? A wife is submissive to her husband. My husband leads in my relationship. Does that mean that I am a doormat? Does that mean that I'm a slave to him? Does that mean that I do everything that he says? Absolutely not. And that is what is probably the biggest detriment to women, because that is what they believe. They think that being submissive means that a man can just walk all over you. And if that's the case, no, I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you guys that being submissive, all that means is having trust in your husband's decision-making skills.
Correct. Having trust in his decision-making skills, being cooperative, being able to, maybe even if you're having a conversation and you don't agree with he's saying, being able to do that in a manner that is still respectful to him because of the fact that you respect him, that you esteem him, and then also because of how you view his mind. Right? I respect your mind and I respect your decision making skills so much. I think that this is a really good option too. But ultimately, whatever you decide to do, whatever you think is necessary, that's what we're going to do.
Having that ability to lean on your husband and letting him take the lead in the household. I'm his co-pilot, right? But we both have to share our opinions. We both have to share in the conversation. And then at the end of the day, he makes the final decision. Yeah. And it's also understanding the roles we play in our relationship, right? My husband is the main breadwinner in our relationship. I make money here on YouTube. It's amazing, but it's definitely more of a supplemental income than it is a true income. Communicating what your roles are before you get married will set the expectations for your marriage. Right. Now, if your husband loves to cook, right? Then he can cook the dinners. There's nothing wrong with that. But we have to communicate with one another what these roles are before we sign the dotted line. And so that is what submission, and that's what being a wife to me actually means. It's also taking care of myself. I make sure that I look good for my husband, not because, oh, I need to look a certain way for him, but I want him to want me. I want my husband to desire me. I don't want him to look outside of the house.
Look, if you go from here to the grocery store, you're going to see so many different beautiful women. And not because you're married or in a relationship for a long time means that you can just kind of get comfortable and be like, whatever, because you're used to each other. No, because in that time that he's seeing all of these other beautiful women, he shouldn't associate beautiful women with women who are not out inside of his home. He should look at his wife like how he looks at them, right? Like how he sees other beautiful women on the street, he should see his wife in that same light and be attracted to her. And as she said, want her. That is key. And these are things that people literally don't talk about. And you want to be able to make your husband happy, right? Like you don't want your husband falling off. And most men, they take care of themselves. They put themselves first. A lot of men do. So you want your man to be attractive. You want your man to look good. So, especially if your man is already just naturally like a fit person or whatever the case is, or he's you're extremely attracted to him, you want to offer that to him as well. You don't want to be the one that falls off the bandwagon, a little bit down the line because we're just used to each other and that's just it. So I love her points. One thing that I genuinely love about this video is she's not just speaking from a place of I changed, and you can still sense like that feminism in there lurking around. Like you can tell that she's genuinely made these changes, but also that she sees the importance of the fact that she changed. Because a lot of people will change and they have like the new mindset, but you can still see like, well, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. No. You can tell that her point of evolution came from her understanding of the importance of evolving.
I don't want him to look to other women. It is so refreshing when you have a man, a masculine man, that can take on his masculine form and I can then move into my feminine form and we can complement each other. We don't compete with each other. We don't. Because once we started competing with each other, we had a lot more issues.
And it's not really competing with each other. It's more of the woman competing with the man because a man is being who he is, right? He's being the strong-headed one, the decision maker, the leader. But once you start trying to chime in as a woman, trying to lead, trying to guide, trying to push, no, do this, you're competing with him. And in actuality, you're competing to your own demise because a strong masculine man is not going to stand there and take that. He's going to go find someone else that can be either more cooperative or he's going to leave you to sit there and talk by yourself because he's not going to even waste the time competing with someone who's supposed to be, the weaker vessel, the more emotional vessel, the soft space. Okay, if you're moving like a man, at this point, you need to go find somebody else.
But I compete with my husband. We're on the same team. Right? We're on the exact same team. We are working towards the same goals. That is the beauty of marriage. That is the beauty of relationship. And that's what I want to encourage more women and more men to have. I want to encourage you. You don't have to take the world on your shoulders. You don't have to take on everything and be this powerhouse. It's exhausting. Finding a man that can allow you to rest and allow you to take off some of that load is so amazing that I want other women to understand and realize that and look for that. Right? So that is my transition from feminist to more traditional woman or a traditional wife. I'm going to make a video specifically speaking about things that you can do to be more traditional, but I wanted to give this video to kind of just walk you through all of that stuff. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Let me know if you guys enjoyed enjoyed it. Did you guys like this video? Let me know in the comment section down below how you guys feel about it. I'll have to keep a lookout. I've never seen this page before. I'm gonna have to keep a lookout on this page, so that when she posts the other one, if you guys like it, if you guys want the part 2, we can go ahead and post that one as well. Again, if you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And then again, if you're not following me on Instagram, my Instagram is at RIVAH_JORDON. But yeah, I definitely want to have these conversations because we talk about the issues, right? We talk about the problems with relationships. We talk about the problems, within the feminist movement and being a, feminine traditional woman. And we talk about the modern woman, but we need to talk about people who've changed their perspective, people who understand it, so that we can ultimately go ahead and push the positive narrative and talk about the how-tos, all of the things and the reasons why they're so important and vital. So like I said, make sure you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. If you're new here, I do post a video every single day, but the time varies. But if you hit that notification bell, it will notify you wherever you watch YouTube of my new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I genuinely enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys. Mwah. I love you.